But this one does have a monetary cost to it, especially if you're giving it out to all of your participants. But the technique of the anchor tool is that whatever this trinket or whatever this thing is that they are going home with, it has some sort of metaphoric emotional value to it, that it anchors them back to the learning that they had with you. And so this is the technique that will last far beyond whatever the minutes are that they spent with you as their facilitator learning in your programs. That I've been doing the anchor tool technique and whatnot for all 26 years of training wheels, and plus I did it before that when I was used to do adventure therapy, working with troubled kids. And now through the powers of Facebook and the internet and things like that, some of the anchor tools that I left with some of those girls that I worked with when I was in my early 20s, 30 years ago, they have contacted me and shared with me, I still have it. So that's the power of an anchor tool, is that there's some sort of connection to it. I wear a little canoe around my neck, and this is an anchor tool for me from an experience I had in my very early 20s that I still literally wear around with me all the time. And so some examples might be, if you do work with webbing or anything like that, like chop up the webbing after they've done some team experiences with it, chop it up into 1 foot sections and call it a forget-me-not. Have them tie it in a knot. And then use, what are some things that I don't want to forget about this experience? I have these teeny tiny little feet and those little feet charms that you saw in the tiny body part one that I shared with you. And I use that one to talk about, how do we leave impressions on people? And these particular little feet that I have, they have a little heart cut out of the heel for the little hole in the heel, if you will, that you could string it onto a necklace or a chain or something like that. So I use it to talk about what kind of impression do we want to leave on the earth, on our teams, as leaders. If you do any work with, like, with ropes courses or with carabiners or anything like that, instead of just putting your logo on something and handing it to your participants as they leave, like the carabiner, if you do any work with ropes courses and you have given away carabiners or something like that, that's a fantastic opportunity to instead of it just be something that houses your keys, start to talk about how a carabiner is most vulnerable when it is in the open position, and coincidentally so are people. And so have them then discuss, when was a time that you felt a little bit vulnerable? Maybe it was a vulnerable share or an experience or something like that. So finding whatever that metaphor is, that tool that you can let them take home with them, that will stick with them far longer than any other experience will.